Hello, this is my first tutorial. I hope you'll find it helpful. I'm going to show you how to make an Olaf figurine. First, start off with an oval shape in white fondant. Then use a small rolling pin to press the top and bottom part. This will create a bump in the middle for his cheeks. And then use the side of a stick to create a dent on both sides of Olaf's cheeks. Here, I'm cutting out where his smile is going to be. When you get to the bottom, angle your knife a bit to scoop out the fondant. Try to cut the edge of his smile as clean as possible. When you add the black, it'll look very obvious if the edge is messy. Then use a ball tool to flatten this area. Roll a thin piece of black fondant and cut it into the shape of a smile. Throughout the video, I'm using water to glue the pieces together. Here I'm using the round tip of the stick to flatten the smile. I'm also using the pointy tip to fit the fondant into the corners of the smile. Roll out a piece of white fondant and don't make it too thin. Put a piece of plastic wrap over it and then use a circle cutter. It'll round out the edges and gives it a dome shape. With a very fine brush, paint a blue border around the eyes. For the paint, I mixed a few drops of lemon extract with a tiny dab of blue colored gel. And if there's blue somewhere by accident, you can clean it off with a brush and water. Okay, now roll a thin string of black fondant for the eyelids. You can use a toothpick or an X-Acto knife and gently push it against the eyes, so it has an even and clean thickness around. Now I'm going to add 2 black dots for the eyes. This is what I like to do when I have to make small pupils. I take a small piece of fondant and I cut it right in the center. This way I know the 2 pieces are equal. I then roll them into a small ball and push down with my finger, and I try to apply the same amount of pressure for both of them so that they're both the same size. Roll a small piece of orange fondant into a carrot shape for the nose. You can use the knife and make the lines on top, or you can draw them on with an edible marker. And now I'm just rolling a thin string of brown fondant for the eyebrows. Now the last detail for his head, cut a piece of white fondant into a trapezoid for Olaf's teeth. Okay, right now I'm making the arms. I'm using brown gum paste. To make gum paste, you can mix gum paste powder to fondant. So roll the gum paste really thin, then add some water and put a toothpick in. Wrap the gum paste around it, make sure it's sealed, and cut along the toothpick. Leave a quarter of the toothpick bare because this part is going into Olaf's torso. And then make one again for the second arm. Okay, don't forget to roll out 3 strands of hair for Olaf. Sorry, because I did forget to record that part. Okay, now I'm making the body with white gum paste because we want the body to dry and harden. If there's a lot of finger marks, you can get rid of it with a smoother. The top part of his body looks too long here, so I'm just going to trim it. The same way that I made the pupils the same size, I'm doing it here as well. Roll a piece of white fondant and cut it in the center. This way I know that both pieces are the same size for his feet. Olaf's buttons aren't the same size, so I'm just pinching black fondant and rolling them randomly. They can be different shape and different size, and then use a knife to add some texture on top. So I let the parts dry overnight, and now I'm going to assemble them. So I'm using a barbecue skewer, so you want it to go through the foot, the body, and at least 3/4 of his head, and then leave some sticking out underneath the foot as well, because that part is going to go into the cake for support. I'm attaching his hair with water and fondant, and then I'm smoothing it out with my hands. You can use royal icing instead. This is the last part. You can use fondant or color gel. Add 2 tiny white dots in his pupil. And that's it. This Olaf figurine is finished. I hope you like my tutorial, and thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe.